Hello everyone, welcome back to Football-Oranje, your home of Dutch football. Gibraltar 0, Netherlands 6. We are here to talk about the game and the Netherlands in general. I'm with Abdul and Mike to talk about the game. Guys, was it a worthwhile encounter watching that one?
Well, it was a great hour and a half, really. As I said in my Twitter account today, it's good to watch Orania and not worrying about anything. You don't really worry about how many goals you have to score. You don't worry about other results. You just enjoy the match. Enjoy being a fan of Orania. So I really enjoyed the match, having my green tea during watching it. Yeah, and as expected, of course, it's an easy win. But the only advantage or the only thing we can talk about is comparing this match to other matches that we played before against Gibraltar. The times we played against Gibraltar with Frank de Boer, it was kind of frustrated time, or we were like frustrated. And of course, the first match under Koeman was also so frustrating. We did not really like it. The win was in a bad way. The 3-0 wasn't really satisfying. But this match we played, I think, much better. The players were more dynamic. I liked, of course, some of the players in the match. When we talk about them, about the individuals, I will talk about them. In general, a good result. In general, a good way to say goodbye to the qualifiers. So now we just have to look forward and see what will happen in the draw.
Yeah, I think what you can say about tonight is it was a professional victory. Nothing went wrong. The players would have been wary about picking up injuries. That didn't happen. Koeman gave debuts to a few players that did okay. I think that a couple of players didn't take their chances, and when we talk about individuals, maybe we'll talk about that a bit later on. But I thought, yeah, it was an overall a decent win. You go into these games knowing that you need to win at least 5-0, and Netherlands haven't done that in the past, but they did tonight. Getting a 6-1 in there as well before the end. It wasn't the most thrilling of matches. I'm sure Bart Verbruggen enjoyed having the best seat in the house to watch it because he didn't do anything else all night. But yeah, it was a nice win, and you just got to treat these games like they are. You're going to just be one-way traffic the whole game, and you just need to get through it. And Netherlands did their job.
I thought the players looked like they enjoyed themselves. Xavi Simons never looks like he really particularly looks like he enjoys himself. He gets really frustrated with himself, doesn't he? But a lot of them were having a good time. Calvin Stengs, really good for him. Really, really positive. He looks back something close to his best, isn't he, this season? And Mike's been banging that drum longer than I have, and I'm on the same bus. I'm really pleased for him. Loads of comments coming in live, and we know that we'll have hundreds of people watch this live stream live or afterwards, and we're looking forward to reading your comments, engaging with you. Do get involved as much as you can. Comment down below now if you're watching live, or if you're watching afterwards, we will get back to you, like we said. Thanks for tuning in. So people are commenting already about individual performances. And just before we get into those, I'm comparing this 3-0 win over Gibraltar right at the beginning when we had Koeman, and now this more comfortable 6-0 win. Gibraltar, they've had a tricky week. So even though they're as poor as it can be when it comes to national team football, that they are not had a good time. But I think the way the Netherlands were able to break them down quite easily, they didn't look like they really struggled. They were able to create space, and when it was the home game, it just felt like they were just packed in sardines and they couldn't get through them at all. Whereas this was a lot more simple. Do you think the players are just more relaxed, or has Koeman worked something out? Do you think he's beginning to work his way, find his way with this team? I'm just saying this with caution because we've only beaten Ireland and Gibraltar in a week. But this
Well,
feels a lot more positive for Koeman now.
Yeah, I would maybe add. I would add maybe a third aspect. Some players wanted to prove themselves. Stinks today. He scored his first international goal with Orania, and of course he scored two more goals later. 3 goals. Weaver scored also his first goal with Orania. I think some players wanted to prove themselves as starters in Orania, so they tried harder maybe. Of course, Koeman also learned a lot from his mistakes. I could see that the team just kept improving match after another. We saw today, I'm sorry to just switch the subject, but I have to. We saw how Greece tied with France 2-2. Some people might say, well, France is playing maybe with the B team. We played Greece with the B team in the second match where we had so many injuries. So Koeman is improving really. And of course, the third thing is the players were relaxed. They knew everything is over now. The mission is done. So they were also relaxed. I think the three aspects all come together.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. I think that you had a combination of players wanting to prove themselves and then players just wanting to enjoy themselves. I think that you saw that, a few players were playing with like a big smile on their face, especially Weaver and Stengs. They're loving it out there. And the camaraderie was nice to see. Whether Koeman's got it right, we'll see when they actually play a nation that's a bit stronger. So in March, if it is Germany that we're practicing against, so let's see how they do against that when you got a first strength 11 out. Because got to remember that this and the game against Republic of Ireland are played with a lot of players missing that should be in this 11. So when all them are back, will Koeman then be able to unlock the same sort of confidence and get the victories? We'll see that. But tonight, yeah, it was just another bit of confidence building for the Netherlands. Let's say that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was that where some fringe players were able to come in and impress, put some smiles on faces of themselves and the fans that were able to get out there to Gibraltar. But I wonder, then, you've mentioned some players you thought did well tonight, some that didn't take the opportunity. Should we just refer to the comments and open this discussion? So, Dave started us off by saying that Taser at right back wasn't very inspiring. I never thought a six-man could be so boring and uninspiring, playing safety first. I didn't feel like it was that negative personally. But Taser at right back, yeah, he got that really silly yellow card, which we didn't need to. And that was a shame. But not a replacement for Dumfries. And I think not from Prong really either, with the attacking abilities of both of them. Dan says Stengs was fantastic tonight. Very happy with Evans' performances, given all the injuries. What did we learn? Stengs can finish, and Gibraltar is putrid. True. Michael says Marlon was poor against a team whose players looked over 40 years old. Yeah, that guy in midfield is ancient, isn't he? If we see another qualifying campaign. Aiden says Marlon looked very poor.
Yeah.
What about Georgios? Not much to comment on today. The big wins in October, November. Yeah, we found someone who's playing it to De Jong. Found a left back, Hartman. And yeah, there was a comment about the cat. And let's just bring it up. If you haven't noticed, there was a cat that's behind Abdul.
Yeah.
It's not the first time it's been in our streams, I don't think. But great cut. Great colour.
Thanks.
It always needs to sneak up when you're in there. It knows it's time for the live stream.
Yeah.
Obviously, turns out it's good to fall asleep to. So we need players back with far too many injuries. Agree. Luckily, it didn't matter this time. Another one about you. I love you tonight. Not much talk about it when there's a 6-0 win over Gibraltar. Another one. France is that much better than the Netherlands that they could score 14, and we can only score 6. Don't get wrong, love a 6-0 win, but still. Would either of you two like to jump in on any of those comments?
Oh, to be fair, that last one, Gibraltar were down to 10 men as well, so they had a player sent off, so it wasn't just 11 on 11 for 14-0. And France were pretty much near full strength as well. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's not every single team beats Gibraltar 14-0. So I don't think it's rare that everyone's go out and beat them 6-0. But other than that, I totally agree with the negative comments. I thought Teza was poor. I thought he got a lot of space across the ball, and a lot of crosses came to nothing. I thought Malin was terrible from the get go. First time he tried to run, he lost the ball, and it was pretty much that for the rest of the match. Every time he took a shot, it was off target, way off target. Every single time he tried to run at anyone, he couldn't do it. I thought that he's the one that proved tonight that I don't think he has a place in this Netherlands 11. I think there's better players with speed out there. One in the comments saying Somerville, I totally agree. He's got more pace than Malen and can do more with the ball at his feet. So yeah, I think that if you're Daniel Malen tonight, you didn't prove yourself, and I would be worried about his place in the squad at the tournament because he's not good enough right now.
Has he lost a yard of pace?
Yeah, but he's always been one of these players that you don't know what his best position is, because when he plays on the wing, he doesn't look that convincing. And when he plays through the middle, he doesn't look that convincing. He never looks like he's been a very good finisher. And I know we can talk back to that game against the Czech Republic where he missed that one-on-one. But even after that, whenever he gets a chance, he doesn't seem to have that killer finish in front of goal. And that's something that Netherlands need, and something that they got tonight from Stengs, because every single time Stengs was in front of goal, he finished it. And you didn't get that from Malen tonight.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened to his career really. PSV, we really liked him. That was the Netherlands. Gone to Dortmund, he's not really scoring for them either. So, at what point does Koeman give up on him? There aren't too many forward options. When people come back, does he get dropped? I still think he's in his plans. He's featured too heavily, hasn't he, to be disregarded completely.
But you got Bergwijn to come back, I guess. I mean, he missed his game, and then it's a lack of options. But you got to look at the players that are in form, and hopefully by the time that the tournament comes around, you've got players like Somerville who will keep impressing. You've got players like Xerxes who will keep impressing. You've got even players that are playing for under 21s this week. Ruben van Bommel scored twice against Sweden. If he keeps improving and gets into that AZ side and holds that down, he can come into it. Just Malen just looks like a player that has no confidence, no speed, and just very little about his game that proves that he can do it at a top level.
However, Koeman has said that he doesn't want any new players really introduced into his squad with Gravenberg, and we know that he's also a hypocrite. But does that comment that he made say that Malen probably will stay in the squad, and we won't see the likes of those players you've just said there that are exciting some people that are watching this? But we know because of Koeman's little rule, which only applies to some, that these changes won't happen.
Yeah. If you allow me talking about Somerville again, since Michael talked about him, I think he made a terrible mistake staying with Leeds United. He just switched all the eyes around him to somewhere else. Nobody's watching him playing for Leeds, although I hear so many good things about him. But I don't think Koeman will look at him at all, since he's playing in the championship, in the second division practically. So that's a problem. I would love to see Somerville in the national team. I think he could add something, And speaking of Malen, he did decline. Although his first match ever with Oranje, he scored a goal against Germany in the 2020 qualifier, if I'm not mistaken. We all thought, he's gonna have a good step from there. But since then, he's not impressing at all, not even with his own team. So maybe we will not choose him. Maybe we'll have some other players, since so many good names now are coming up, Xerxes, for example. Maybe he could be a starter with Oranje. Not a starter, maybe a sub at least, instead of Malen.
I think that if Koeman is going to stick with a 5-3-2, let's say he does that, then you don't need someone like Malen who can go into the wing if you have, say, Stengs in the squad, if you have Memphis, if you have Simmons, if you have Gakpo. They can all play on the left wing or the right wing.
Noah Lang.
And Noah Lang, yeah, exactly. Noah Lang's going to come back. So these are all players that are much better, in much better form than Malen is. So he needs to really improve in his couple of months. And Somerville, he might get a move in January. We'll see if it's going to take a lot of money probably to get him away from Leeds halfway through the season. But if he does, then that would improve his chances of getting into Euro squad for sure.
If that's a realistic ambition of his, he needs to go to a team where obviously he will play a lot, not to the Premier League where he then might end up on the bench, for example. So I wonder what destinations there are for him. I can't say I'm aware of too many Serie A or like Bundesliga clubs that might be interested in him. But that's the kind of thing he needs to do, isn't it? If he's really that desperate to get into the Euro squad.
Yeah, he needs to go somewhere. It's all about money. Like Leeds don't only going to sell him for cheap, and then Serie A clubs
Yeah.
probably can't afford it. All clubs in Germany can't afford that, so you might be looking at the summer, and it might be too late then. But you'll get players that after this Euros who's going to come in and have a big impact. He's definitely one of them. So it's an exciting player for the Netherlands, but maybe not right now. But he's one that we can look at and say he's eventually going to be the successor to players like Malin, who will eventually need to be fizzled out if they don't improve.
Yeah. And Aidan, I think we agree with his comment that he'd rather see Gakpo on the wing and Depay down the middle. That's our ideal, isn't it? And then who goes on the right side for you now? Although in this 5-3-2, might not see that. More like to be Gakpo and Memphis together through the middle, and Simon's behind that. That's the preferred front three at the moment. Do we all agree?
Simmons, I know he's trying very hard, and
yeah, let's talk about him because we had a comment about this. So does he now start to lose that place that we thought was guaranteed? You see, and this is right. I fully agree. It annoys me sometimes. I know he cares, but it's a wrong expression. He looks like a kid that's had his bag of candy stolen. This guy says. Games for Netherlands now. He hasn't really impressed.
He's just Russian. He wants to score desperately. He wants to impress desperately. I think this is the problem with him, because with his team, he's much better. He scores amazing goals. Even in the Champions League, he's been performing very well. But with Oranje, no. So something is wrong. I don't know if it's 5-3-2 that's not working for him, or maybe it's his character. He needs maybe some support from his colleagues. I really don't know. But he's not really my favorite player for now to play behind the attackers. Maybe Stings can do better than him.
Yeah, after his hat trick tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the players who I thought did well in the first half was Joey Veerman as well. I thought he did very well, especially for the opening goal and a few chances after that. Veerman was very good. He sort of controlled the midfield, I thought, in the first half, and I was quite shocked that it was him that got taken off at a break. Because I thought he had a very good first half, and he's somebody that could play behind the two as well and create chances, because he's a great passer of the ball. I think he's got a better pass on him than Koopmeiners does and Weaver. So if you're going to look at Reinders next to Frenkie de Jong, Veerman's someone that could play in that 10 position and create chances.
I don't like him so much in the 10 position for the Netherlands, because it's always helpful if you're the one that makes those right late runs to the box, or you've got that extra technique or pace. And Veerman's great, I think, from deeper positions, so I don't really want him at 10 position myself. But next to de Jong, or a replacement for de Jong, is useful to have in that Euro squad. But we all know Reinders, don't we, next to de Jong at the moment. But that's still not decided for me. That's just based on form. But come March, a game against Germany, which Koeman says will happen now as a friendly, that for me is a great test. How good is Reinders? Have him next to de Jong, who'll be back fit, and let's see how they get on. That match is going to be so big, isn't it, to see what this starting 11 is going to be in the competition, because Koeman will be putting his best team out.
Yeah, but this match will be cancelled if we fall with Germany in the same group, though. Yeah. So, but I think we will choose a good replacement. We will. Either we play Germany or another team. It's going to be a big team. I don't think it's going to be a weak opponent. So it's going to be a good test for Oranje, and hopefully we can see Reinders and Frenkie. I would love to see Veerman, by the way, as a player behind the attackers. Maybe he can. I liked his performance today. He makes some good passes. He appears good in the midfield, if you know what I mean. So he's my third option, really. My third player, I mean, in the trio.
Okay. Let's just refer back to the comments. I had a few more in. Gotta pick this one up. Hey guys, Blint and Daron didn't play today. Do you know? Let's celebrate, guys. If you could like this live stream right now, to celebrate that. No, yeah. It would be really good, to be fair. Thanks everyone for watching right now. And this is not the end of a live stream, but if you could support what we do, give us a like right now. And have you got your notifications bell on? Just check when our next shows will be. Of course, there will be some Netherlands shows between now and March, but there'll be few and far between compared to that as regular as they have been since September. So do leave your notifications bell on YouTube so that you don't miss out on the show we're going to do soon. We will be doing something after the Euros draw, which is at the beginning of December. Keep an eye out for that. And of course, subscribe to Football-Oranje if you're new. But I think lots of you guys are regulars that are watching right now. So more comments. Dan says, with players like Ake, Van der Ven, Hato, Hartman, Martson, do we need Blind in the squad? We all know Blind will be in there anyway.
Yeah.
But there's so much quality. Yeah, it's not needed. I thought Hartman did okay again tonight, but it's a different kind of game, isn't it? Different kind of performance to judge him on. Thoughts on Hartman? And again, just to confirm, he's still your starting left back?
Yeah, 100%. I don't think there's another option in there at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
It can really come over him. I think he needs to do more with the ball at his feet, but I mean that can come. He's still finding his way in the team, and with, I don't want to go hard back on and have a go at him again, but with Malin in front of him, he maybe didn't have that option for the overlap that you had on the right hand side with Stengs and Tez, who I think they linked up quite well together, but Tez's crossing wasn't great. So I think Hartman needs that person on the left hand side who can kind of link up with. Maybe that in the future might be somebody like Gakpo or Memphis or Simmons, and then we'll see the best of Hartman, like we did against France when he steamed in and got that goal because there's some nice play around the left hand side. Yeah, I don't think he really has that at the moment because he's kind of on his own. But I thought, yeah, he did okay today.
Yeah. And about Blind, I think Koeman will be in big trouble maybe, because if all the players are fit and ready to play, who's he gonna choose Blind over? I mean, I cannot expect him dropping Botman or Van de Ven or any other defender and take a Blind instead. Seriously. But I think Koeman will do that, and he will say Blind is important in the dressing room, like what he said about Babel, if you remember.
Yeah, like if you sacrifice one, if you say you took all your best defenders, would you then maybe push Blind to say that he can play in midfield if you took out Darun and dropped Darun, maybe?
Yeah, that could be an option indeed, yes.
Still though, who's the backup left back after Hartman?
But he's too slow as a left
Ake.
back. Yeah, I think you.
And left wing back?
Yeah, I'll take him.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not saying that Blind's better. I'm just saying that will be the reason, won't it? And Ake is better at centre back. You want him playing there. I don't want him left wing back.
But Botman's there. I mean, we all trust Sven Botman. He could play there. Put Ake on the left. I think you do fine. I think that he's shown that he can do it for Manchester City in any position he gets played there. I think Ake can do whatever he wants. I think he's that good a footballer that he can play on the left hand side as a wing back. He can play on the left hand side as a deep lying left back. I'd much rather have him there than Blind in any position.
Okay. There's no one's going to come out of the woodworks like Martson, for example. I don't see anybody else becoming an option in that position.
No, Maatsen doesn't get enough game time for Chelsea to really push it. And then other than that, the options are very slim. You could play Hato there, but he's not the right age. Then you've got Wijndal, who's doing absolutely nothing in Belgium at Antwerp. He's gone completely downhill. Bjorn Meyer, not ready yet. Bakker, not getting game times at Atalanta. So, yeah, there's not really any other options, to be fair.
But Maatsen is not even a starter. He doesn't play. I don't even know how many minutes he had this season, So I see him out of the picture, really.
Maybe it's time for the great comeback of Patrick Van Aanholt again, just like he did in front of Frank de Boer.
Oh, yeah.
Wheeled him out. So there's lots of players that tonight that did impress. Who didn't impress? Did Dalinga do enough for you off the bench? Talk to us about some of these players.
I thought that goal was gonna be for him. I thought it was under his name, but I was surprised that it was under Gakpo's name. I was kind of disappointed. I wanted that Dalinga to score, really, but of course I will not judge him with only one half that he played against almost 11 defenders, and the team seemed so relaxed in the second half after they finished the entire job in the first half. But of course, the guy who inspired me was definitely Stengs. I mean, any player who scores 3 goals in one match, he must impress you. I think Weaver was okay also. These 2 players maybe. Veerman was good. I was really happy with his passes and his performance. I think these 3.
Yeah, I think Dalinga had that chance as well where he tried the back heel and it got
Yeah.
scooped out by the goalkeeper as well. I thought that was quite nice. That was a nice wee touch. But I think that you saw in the first half as well that Weghorst was sort of marked out the game as well, and Dalinga was in the second half as well because it all went down the wings, and I think the crossing into the box was poor, except for some set pieces where the corners were going to the taller players. So I think that Dalinga, when you see the goals he scored against Liverpool, they're much more on the counter with space, and he had no space tonight because every single time he was in the box, 6 defenders around him, not getting the service. So I don't think you can really judge him on tonight because the space wasn't really there. I think if you saw a more open game against a better side, he might have come into it more. So I'll refer judgment on him. I think same with Weghorst. I don't think it was his best night tonight, but I don't think he got any service in there as well. Other than that, I think Koopmeiners did okay. I mean, he did all right. Went to left back. Maybe he's an option for left back going forward. He went there. And yeah, other than that, the defense had absolutely nothing to do the whole game. I don't think Gibraltar even registered even a shot, even off target the whole night. So easiest game for them. I think Hato did okay when he came on. I think he just played it nice, safe, passed to the side. I think he did okay. But yeah, the start of the game was Stengs. Tonight's his, to be fair. Not scored for Netherlands before, comes into this, starts, scores 3 goals. Brilliant. He's having a great season. And yeah, it's nice to see a right winger that likes to cut into his left foot as well.
That isn't called
not
Steven
that-
Berghaus.
Well, better than Steven Berghaus. It's nice to see that you have somebody that obviously is nowhere near Iron Robin, but someone that can cut in and shoot and score goals from right hand
Yeah.
side.
I was waiting for the day that we say goodbye to Berghaus, Klaassen, Blind, Diron. I'm happy that half of them are gone already, with all respect to what they did for Oranje. But it's really time to look forward now, and maybe we can drop even Diron, for Euro. Not maybe, I really hope so.
I don't see these changes coming around so soon, though. Anytime we will get that.
Yeah.
I've got a few points to put on the screen, and then I'd like to get your thoughts on the draw that's coming up. Like I said, we will react to that draw on Football-Oranje, but let's get your thoughts in just a moment as to who you'd like to have. So Aiden just said about Dalinga. He's saying he didn't see enough of him, but his movement looked good. And Michael again was saying about Blind, but he's top of La Liga. Another question about the formation. He's playing the 5 roles in the 3-5-2 and Son Hartman and Dumfries in the wings. But how does Koeman select his 3 in the middle? Well, I think we've kind of been answering that throughout the show, where you've got Frenkie de Jong, Reinders as the 8, and then the 10, which is Simmons at the minute, but could change, could be Stengs in future. Anything I've missed there?
Yeah, and I also mentioned Veerman. He could be also an option,
Yeah, Veerman could be option 6, 8, or 10, couldn't he, really?
Yes.
Good player. So the pots at the moment are looking a bit like as follows. So pot 1 will be Germany, Portugal, France, Spain, Belgium, and England. But I think they might be mistaken. The thing I've got right here in front of me. But you tell me, guys. Then pot 2, there's Hungary, Turkey, Denmark, Albania, Romania, and Austria. Netherlands, of course, are in pot 3. And then pot 4, the minute confirmed are Serbia, Italy, Switzerland, and then 3 playoff winners. That could be Greece. It could be Luxembourg. You've got quite a mixture there of teams to come through. Possibly Poland could be some stronger options.
Ukraine.
So, yeah, Ukraine. Can we talk about then what's our group we want and the group we don't want?
Well, I was really hoping that Italy will be in pot 3. Unfortunately, it didn't work. They are still in pot 4. Of course, the worst group, in my opinion, could be maybe France. I still see France the strongest team in the competition.
Yeah.
It could be maybe France, Denmark, Holland, and Italy. That could be the most difficult group, really, the group of death. But of course, I would love, or I think it's much easier if it's like Belgium, maybe Albania, Holland, and Ukraine or Greece, maybe.
Yeah, I agree. The there's always these bogey teams that everyone's have that you want to sort of avoid, like the Czech Republics. I wouldn't want something like that, or the Turkeys that we could get. So there's tough ones in there that you can get from pot 2. Denmark as well. We didn't do exactly great about them every single time we played them, but I think they're going down a very poor route at the moment. They look like a shadow of the side that they used to be. I think they lost 2-0 to Northern Ireland yesterday. I think they're on a downward slope, but they're still a dangerous side if they've got everyone fit. So yeah, I think that being in pot 3 is obviously not where the Netherlands need to be or want to be, but as long as they can avoid France and England from that pot 1, then they have a chance. And they have a chance of getting through anyway, because it's ridiculous that, top 2 best third place sides get through. So there's a really good chance of getting knockouts. But if they want to come top of a group, I think France, England, and then maybe Portugal are the ones that they want to avoid.
Yeah, I agree. Yes.
Yeah, those are the 3 teams to avoid. Portugal got such a great record in qualifying. England have all the talent that they have, just need a bit of a push, I think, to realise their talent. And France do look the strongest, the obvious favourites of the tournament, even now. Then after that, it's quite a strong competition. There aren't too many nobodies in there. And I think us being in pot 3, it's a bad thing. I think if we're in pot 2, would have had a trickier deal, because some of the teams in pot 3 would have been difficult. But there's still the chance to have a group like Belgium, who don't look good compared to what we're used to, or even Germany, even though it's our home tournament. Then having someone like Austria or even Hungary, as well as they are doing, and then a team like Switzerland that if the Netherlands turn up, they should be beating. But there's no there's no nobodies in here. There's no even North Macedonia last time did all right, didn't they? There's a bit of a fight of it all. But I think everyone there has got a good chance of going far, but there aren't many big, strong favourites. Someone asked in the comments, where would the Netherlands come if tournament was played tomorrow, if everyone was fit? I think once we see the draw and we can map out our route, that becomes a bit clearer, doesn't it? Because if you say finish second in your group, you might meet the top of the other group, and it could be France. Your tournament's over pretty quickly. Or do we go quite deep and meet France towards the end of the tournament, where it feels a bit more like the Netherlands have a chance?
Yeah, the round of 16 will have, of course, in part 1, they will have the 6 group winners and the 2 of the best runner-ups. So even if we don't win the group, we can be the best second team at least, to avoid facing teams from part 1. I was wondering about Spain, if you guys know anything about Spain now. I haven't been watching them lately, really. Can they be a threat if we face them? Of course, it's always a big team, but I don't know about the current Spain,
They look decent, but they don't look like they put teams away, and they don't. We've seen Spain are much stronger than this current one.
Yeah, and obviously Gavi's a big player for them, and he's just done his ACL, so he might miss the tournament. Up front, the striker options they have is either Hosselu or Morata. I mean, these aren't the strikers of old that they've had. Defensively, they don't look as good as they have been in the past. So I don't think Spain are going into the tournament as they're probably one of the dark horses, I would say, to win it. Like Scotland beat them. We're unlucky away to them, so that's sort of caliber that can beat them. If Netherlands have a fully fit squad going up against Spain right now, I would fancy Netherlands' chances to get a win.
Yeah, I still stand by the thought that the Netherlands are one of the best teams after those obvious ones, because they are fairly in form. The team's coming together. Players will be coming back from injury. And some of the other top teams they don't have as much quality, or the manager's not the best. And then you think, well, then maybe there's a chance. Then maybe there is actually a chance.
Well, I think even against France, we have a chance if we play smart. I mean, when everybody is ready, when we play smart, the chance could be 40% that we can have a positive result. I mean, they beat us 2-1 in the Netherlands, and we were not really that bad, although we were missing so many players in that match. So
and the formation change, right? Because we're so much tighter. Again, I don't think with the finished article there, and we still haven't really fully decided who the number one goalkeeper is. For Brooklyn, it looks like it will be him at the minute, but it is much improved from when Koeman first took over.
Yes.
I'd say that Netherlands are a good striker away from being a challenger.
Yeah.
That's what we are now. I think if we had a really good striker, a lot of people would be saying that we're one of the favourites for the tournament. That's the only position that we lack in the 5-3-2 is a really, really good striker.
Still hoping that Broby will develop until Euro.
I'm gutted that we can't get.
He's the only one who has potential to be a striker, really.
Yeah, he just has so much work left to do. It's a shame that Haaland's got the summer off and doesn't fancy coming in on loan or something like that. Nationality on loan.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're right. That's the difference. That we talked up a lot more excited. Have that big name striker. Netherlands haven't had it for years.
No, we keep waiting for that one to appear from nowhere and just bang in 30 goals. Like a late bloomer, like a Hunter Van Nistelrooy. That's what you sort of need to come. But yeah, it doesn't look like it's around it at the moment, sadly.
It's weird saying that because Memphis is the top goal scorer for the country.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because the last striker Ajax produced was Huntelaar, and that was like in 2003 or 2004, maybe 20 years ago. Last striker PSV had was Van Nistelrooy, that was like 25 years ago, and Feyenoord Van Persie, and that was 20 years ago. It's really strange that we haven't been seeing a world-class striker from the Netherlands. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, would kill for a Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank at the moment. And to think that he couldn't even get inside when he was in his prime, and if we had him now, he'd go straight into the team. But yeah, it's just we can create defenders left, right, and center, but not strikers now.
Which still surprises so many people when you tell them that don't support the Netherlands. Like this is what they do now. A couple of comments about strikers in the comments. Someone was saying about they agree with you, Abdul, about Brobbey, because he's capable of. And there's a comment about Van Hooijdonk still. I'm guessing they mean the current Van Hooijdonk rather than the old one.
No, I think he means the father, maybe, because I mentioned the last attacker Feyenoord produced was Van Persie. Of course, Van Hooijdonk was before Van Persie. So
right. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, you guys. Is there anything else you want to mention for our last live stream for a little while? But we will do a reaction to the draw when it comes out. But anything else you'd like to add about tonight?
I've seen the comments about somebody made a comment about the under-19s and under-21s. Under-21s are heading for qualification to Euros next summer as well. They beat Sweden 4-2 yesterday. Looked really good. Noah Hayo, talking about a striker, he's got 4 goals in 5 games. I don't think he's going to be the next sharpshooter because he doesn't get a game for Standard Liège at the moment. Under-19s easily qualified from the first round of their qualifying as well. Rykov scored today. Babadi has had a great week. 2 goals, 2 assists. He's sort of driven them. So he's the one that you can look out for if he does eventually break into that PSV team. Has been a creator. But yeah, it's been a good week for under-19s, under-21s. Under-17s beat South Korea 5-1. They also lost 2-1. So overall, it's been a good week for the Netherlands. I think that most teams won their games. It's only 1 game that was lost.
Yeah. Well, all I can say is congratulations again to all Oranje fans around the world. We qualified to Euro. We did not really struggle that much, except maybe in the beginning. But then we found our way. We won all the matches except for the matches against France. Now the chapter is closed, and we have to just look forward to Euro. And for the moment, about me, I'm talking about myself. I'm going to switch my mind to watch, of course, the Dutch clubs and the European competitions. 2 crucial matches next week for Feyenoord and PSV. If they win, they are pretty much through. So hopefully that will happen.
Well said, Abdul. Well said. And well said this comment here too. Netherlands being Euro 2024 champions.
Yep.
That's the plan.
Never lose hope.
Thank you everyone for watching the live stream or after the live stream. We look forward to reading your comments down below. If you're not watching live, Do let us know what you thought of the game. Anything else talked about? A thought on Abdul's cat, Abdul's beard, whatever you like, really.
Thank you, guys.
More from us soon. Lots on the website. But if you like what we do on our YouTube channel, do give this live stream a like, subscribe if you're new, and hit the notifications bell so that you get a notification when we are next uploading something or when we're next live. Thanks, everyone. Bye for now.